Live on the Great Plains of Western Kansas, two district foes are just moments away from going toe-to-toe. For the rest of our crew, I'm Eli Blankenship. We thank you one and all for tuning in to Tiger Media Network's Area Game of the Week.
For generations, high school sports have been the center of small-town life. In towns across Kansas, Friday nights have long been the biggest events of the week. The gym becomes more than a building. It becomes a gathering place, a place where neighbors reconnect, where families sit in the same seats they have for years, and where entire communities rally behind the same team. But over time, many of these towns have started to get smaller. Across rural Kansas, school enrollments have been steadily declining. Fewer students mean fewer athletes, so the question becomes, why do high school sports matter so much to small towns, and what happens when these traditions start to fade?
We're pastors. Me and my wife pastor a church, the outskirts of town, and we moved here back in January of last year. There's a ton of kids that play sports. We've been to games this past year, just kids that were playing football. We go to the football games. We go just to support them, kids that you meet in FCA. You find out what sports they're in. It's kind of a way to connect with them because they're heavily involved. It's kind of like it's their, a lot of them, it's their life. They're consumed with just sports.
Well, where we left from in Lake Charles, Louisiana, it was like a city of 80,000 people. So moving from there to here, small town is just a little bit different. I would say even focus on sports is a little bit different. We did have kids in our church that did sports, but I don't think that it was quite as big of a thing.
We went to probably most of the home football games, and that's just really cool to see the kids on the field and, just be able to cheer for them. And then when you see them, they're coming off at halftime, they're coming off at the end of the game, just able to be there and be involved in their life and what they're doing. So, yeah.
For many parents, high school sports have always been more than just the score. They're about community. They're about tradition. And sometimes they're about the small routines that happen every game night.
Some weeks, games are Tuesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Friday for high school mostly, and then the junior high games are mostly on Mondays and Thursdays. So it's a pretty busy schedule. I definitely try to get to my two kids' games as much as possible. But as far as in the community that I work with, I try to go to at least one game of each sport throughout the season.
I think here, especially, parents are pretty pro athletics.
You keep fighting and you find a way. Okay, and you've done that every game so far. All right, and that's just kind of your identity. That's your character coming out. Okay, that's why you show up every morning in the weight room all summer long at 6 o'clock in the morning. So you're strong enough, you're tough enough, you're disciplined enough to continue to do that. Okay, extremely proud of you. Enjoy the win.
For coaches, sports become a way to teach lessons far beyond the court.
One of the things I try to tell the kids is, all I want you to do is give me your best, and that's all you have to do. Everything else will take care of itself. And if you'll always give your best, whether you're playing basketball or on the track, at a job, then you're going to be successful.
But super proud of you of finding a way to win, and you just wore them out there. Okay, so that was fun to watch. Super proud of you.
But with smaller school populations, those lessons sometimes come with new challenges.
Sometimes you have to teach a hard lesson and tell a kid that, sorry, but you're not going to participate in this track meet or this basketball game because, you broke the rules, and you're going to serve your punishment and we'll go on. But yeah, there's always the struggles. Kids are going to be kids, and they're going to make mistakes just like everybody does. And
For players themselves, these games represent something bigger. In small towns, they don't just step out and play. They look out and see the community.
It's really nice to look out and see all of the people that I know from the community and stuff, and just hearing them cheer us on no matter what sport it is. It's kind of awesome.
It's not just about playing, it's about representing the people who show up for them every night.
I think it's important that the kids, see me in the stands and it's visible and supporting them. And you don't coach and be the AD to get rich. It's for the kids, and you want the kids to be successful. So.
Why are sports important to me? Because it gives me something to prove myself and it keeps me in shape.
Sports are important to me because it gives me something to do.
Yeah, sports are important to me because they give me opportunities to hang out with my friends and push myself.
I think sports is a tremendous part of the school. Kids learn in the classroom, but they also learn life skills and stuff in sports. And so sports is a huge part of the school and the community.
In some communities, priorities are beginning to shift.
The big words that you heard a lot were student athlete. You're a student first before you're an athlete. And that was probably one of the biggest things that they pushed was take care of this and then do this because it's fun. Take care of your schoolwork, learn the responsibilities of that, and then go learn the other lessons that you learn being an athlete.
And for some schools, that shift is already being felt.
Everybody always wants the athletic scholarship, and that's important, but strive to get good grades and do well in your academics because it's going to be easier.
And while sports are still important, some wonder how central they remain in the future.
I think if there are things that are shrinking, communicating about those things in those settings are probably helpful.
As school populations decline, communities are starting to ask difficult questions. What happens when there aren't enough athletes to fill a roster? What happens when schools have to combine programs? These games have long given the communities something to rally around, something that brings generations together in the same place.
Secures the championship!
All cheering for the same team.
Winner are your regional champions!
For some, it's just a game. But here, it's everything.